Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing coins to ever roll out of the US Mint, the 1983 P. Washington quarter. Can you imagine a regular quarter being worth up to $1.9 million? Sounds wild, right? But it's true. These specific quarters have become some of the most sought-after coins, and today we'll uncover why, what collectors look for, and how you might just have one of these hidden in your collection. A quick overview of various Washington quarters over the years, highlighting design elements. To understand the value of the 1983 P quarter, let's take a step back and understand the Washington quarter series itself. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932, celebrating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This coin replaced the standing Liberty quarter and has since become a mainstay in American currency, loved by collectors for its simple yet classic design. These quarters were struck with a copper-nickel-clad composition since 1965, meaning no silver content, so why, then, is a 1983 P quarter potentially worth so much? Show a close-up of the date, 1983, on a quarter and compare the Philadelphia Mint mark, P, to other years. Well, here's where things get interesting. In 1983, there was an unusually high demand for quarters due to a weak economy, and these quarters circulated heavily. But here's the twist: in 1982 and 1983, the US Mint didn't release any mint sets for collectors. Mint sets typically include high-quality coins with superior strikes and finishes, meant for collectors. But that didn't happen in '83, which means that any high-quality, uncirculated 1983 quarters were only found in circulation, and they're hard to come by. Show a regular circulated quarter with visible wear and a sharp, near-pristine example of the same coin. This brings us to the Philadelphia minted 1983 P. Washington quarter. Because it circulated widely and was never issued in a collector's mint set, finding one in pristine condition is extremely rare. Most quarters from 1983 show heavy wear and tear from years of use. But, when a 1983 P quarter does show up in high-grade condition, collectors go absolutely wild for it. The coin becomes incredibly valuable due to its rarity and historical context. Show a graded MS-67 or MS-68 example of a 1983 P quarter from a reputable grading service. Alright, so we've established that high-quality 1983 P quarters are rare, but what takes the value into the millions? The answer lies in the coin's condition, also known as its grade. Coin grading is done on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless specimen. The highest grade 1983 P quarters found are typically around MS-67 or MS-68, which means they're in almost perfect condition. And in 2021, one of these ultra-rare MS-68 examples sold at auction for a whopping $1.9 million. This price was driven by a combination of rarity, collector demand, and the thrill of owning a truly rare piece of modern coin history. Can you tell if your 1983 P quarter is worth anything? Here are a few key things to look for. Make sure your quarter has the P mint mark, indicating it was minted in Philadelphia. This is crucial because only the Philadelphia quarters from 1983 have this heightened value. The most important factor is the coin's condition. Look for quarters with minimal wear. You're looking for a sharp, clear strike, with no major scratches, wear, or fading on George Washington's profile. Grading potential: if you think you have a high-quality 1983 P quarter, consider getting it graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Grading can confirm the coin's condition and help maximize its potential sale price. Display recent auction listings, current PCGS values, and trends in Washington quarter collecting. The market for 1983 P quarters has surged in recent years, with more collectors recognizing their scarcity. According to current listings, high-grade examples can fetch anywhere from a few $1,000s to that record-breaking sale of $1.9 million. Even in lower conditions, these quarters can be worth considerably more than face value, with examples in MS-65 selling for hundreds of dollars. This interest reflects a trend in coin collecting, where modern, high-grade coins from circulation years are becoming increasingly valuable, especially when they're rare. So, who would have thought a 1983 P Washington quarter could be worth more than $1 million? It just goes to show that sometimes, even the most ordinary-looking coins can hold extraordinary value. If you're into coin collecting, keep an eye out for these hidden treasures. Go through your old coin rolls, check your change, and maybe you'll strike gold, or should I say, silver. We're diving into an incredible story about a quarter that could be worth big money. Yes, we're talking about the 1990 D Washington quarter dollar. What if I told you that a single one of these could fetch as much as $1.8 million? Sounds wild, right? But it's absolutely true. We'll explore what makes these 1990 quarters so unique, what collectors are looking for, and why they're skyrocketing in value. So let's get right into it. First, let's talk a bit about the 1990 D Washington quarter. This coin was minted in Denver, which is what the D stands for. The Washington quarter itself has a rich history, having first been introduced in 1932 in honor of George Washington's 200th birthday. By the time we got to the 1990 D Washington quarter, these quarters were an everyday staple in pockets and cash registers across the country. But here's the thing, not all of these quarters are created equal. Some 1990 D quarters have what we call minting errors. Now, minting errors can come in different forms, like off-center strikes, double dies, and sometimes, missing letters or details. These errors might sound like minor flaws, but for coin collectors, an error can turn a regular coin into a highly sought-after gem. So, why is the 1990 D Washington quarter worth so much? This is where things get interesting. You see, collectors are always on the hunt for unique coins, especially coins that have very distinct errors or historical significance. For this specific quarter, some rare versions were minted with errors that are exceptionally hard to find. It's like striking gold for collectors. One of the main reasons the 1990 D Washington quarter is fetching these high prices is because of the quality of its minting and scarcity of certain mint error types. One error, in particular, that has caught the eye of collectors is the inverted mint mark or double die error, where certain design elements appear doubled due to a mistake during the striking process. This makes these quarters rare in two ways. Not only are they old, but they were produced with flaws that make them stand out, giving them huge value. Close-up shots of the Washington quarter, focusing on details like the D mint mark and the edges. Now, let's talk about how you can identify if your 1990 D quarter might be worth a fortune. If you have a quarter from 1990 with a D mint mark, first, look at it under magnification. Some key features to look for include mint errors. Like we mentioned, check for things like a double die on the lettering or numbers, off-center strikes, or missing details. Condition. Coins in mint condition or as close to uncirculated as possible hold the most value. If your quarter has been circulating for years and is visibly worn, it probably won't be worth as much. The D mint mark. Make sure that D mint mark is clear. In some cases, there's even been a ghosting effect on these coins where the D appears faint or double-struck. This is a minting error that collectors love. Cut to the host examining a quarter through a magnifying glass. Even a slight double die on any part of the design can make this coin worth several $1,000s. But in mint condition, and with the right kind of error, that price can climb up astronomically. Now let's get to the juicy part. How much are these coins actually worth? Recently, a pristine, high-quality 1990 D Washington quarter with a unique error sold for an eye-popping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. But before you go rummaging through your coin jar, remember that this high value only applies to quarters with specific, rare errors in near-perfect condition. Other 1990 D quarters with lesser errors still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, which is still incredibly impressive for a 25-cent piece. As of today, the market value for these quarters can range widely, depending on condition and error type. If you find one in decent condition but without any major errors, it might still be worth anywhere from $5 to $50, which isn't bad for a quarter. Cut to footage of people selling coins at a collector's show and online auctions. Okay, let's say you find a 1990 D Washington quarter in your collection, and it looks promising. What's next? Well, first, you'll want to get it authenticated. You can have your coin graded and authenticated by a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC. This grading can make a massive difference in how much your coin will sell for. Once it's graded, there are several ways to sell it. Many people auction these valuable coins through sites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or Stax Bowers. You could even bring it to a coin show and have a face-to-face transaction with a collector who's been looking for that exact piece. Just remember, don't rush the process. Take your time, get it graded, and make sure you're reaching the right audience to maximize the value. So, to sum it all up, the 1990 Washington quarter might look like any ordinary coin, but if you're lucky enough to find one with the right mint errors in mint condition, you could be looking at a small fortune. Whether you're an avid collector or just got curious about that loose change, this just goes to show you, always double-check those coins. We're diving deep into the world of state quarters, specifically the 2000 New Hampshire quarter with a P mint mark, or as some people know it, the 2000 P New Hampshire state quarter. Stick around, because if you have one of these, you could be looking at a small fortune. In fact, a particular quarter in this series allegedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. So, let's get into the details of why this coin might be so valuable and how you could check if you have one of these rare finds. Back in 1999, the U.S. Mint began releasing the iconic 50 state quarters program. The idea was simple but brilliant. Every U.S. state would be represented on a quarter, with a unique design celebrating the state's history or significant symbols. The series ran from 1999 to 2008, and each year, a few states would get their own coins minted in Philadelphia and Denver, indicated by the P or D mint mark. Now, in 2000, the New Hampshire state quarter was released. This particular quarter is fascinating for several reasons, including its unique design featuring the iconic Old Man of the Mountain, a natural rock formation that was a beloved symbol of New Hampshire before it unfortunately collapsed in 2003. So, if you're holding a 2000 New Hampshire quarter right now, you might notice the P mint mark. This mint mark tells us that this quarter was minted in Philadelphia. Now, what does the 1788 mean on this coin? That's actually the year New Hampshire became a state, so it's not an error but part of the design. However, it's the 2000 P mint mark quarters we're talking about today, and here's why. Coins become valuable for many reasons. Rarity, condition, and errors are among the top factors. With the New Hampshire quarter, there are some interesting errors that can increase its value. Here are a few specific types of errors that can make your 2000 P New Hampshire quarter worth significantly more than just 25 cents. Double die errors. Some quarters have what's called a double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly, creating a doubled image on the coin. If you see doubling on any part of your quarter, especially the letters or the date, you might have something special. Off-center strikes. If your coin's design is not centered, it's considered an off-center strike. The more off-center it is, the more valuable it can be. These coins can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on how off-center the design is. Missing clad layer. The quarters were made with a copper core and a nickel-clad layer on top. Sometimes, due to a minting error, one of these layers is missing, which gives the coin a distinct copper look on one side. These coins are highly sought after by collectors. Now, let's talk about the big money. Recently, news circulated about a 2000 P New Hampshire quarter that allegedly sold for a staggering $1.7 million. Now, before you go cashing in all your quarters, let's clarify a few things. To reach such an astronomical price, a coin has to be absolutely exceptional. This means it's likely a one-of-a-kind error coin, or it was graded in near-perfect condition, like MS-68 or MS-69 on the coin grading scale. This specific coin was unique, and it's not common for New Hampshire quarters to reach anywhere near this kind of value unless they're incredibly rare, with significant errors or in top-tier condition. Coin grading is crucial if you're hoping to fetch top dollar. Coins graded MS 60 or higher can be worth a lot more than those in circulated condition. So, if you think you have a valuable quarter, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Want to see if you have a valuable 2000 P New Hampshire quarter? Here's what to look for: inspect the details, use a magnifying glass to check for doubling on the letters or numbers, look for off-center strikes, the more off-center, the more it could be worth, check the layers, if one side has a copper color, you might have a missing clad layer, get it graded. If you think you found something valuable, getting it professionally graded can help you confirm its worth. Remember, preserving the coin's condition is crucial, so handle it carefully. Currently, the average circulated 2000 P New Hampshire quarter is only worth its face value, 25 cents. But, if you have a rare error coin or one in pristine, uncirculated condition, prices can climb into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That $1.7 million coin is the outlier, but it's proof that some of these quarters can be worth a fortune. Oh, there you have it. The 2000 P New Hampshire quarter is a small piece of American history that, for some, has turned out to be worth far more than face value. Check your change, inspect those quarters, and who knows, you might be holding on to a small fortune without even knowing it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to your channel name for more coin and collectibles content, and let us know in the comments if you've come across any valuable coins. We're diving into the fascinating world of rare quarters, focusing on the 2001 P 1788 quarter dollar. Whether you're a coin collector or just stumbled upon some change, you'll want to check your coins after watching this video. You might be richer than you think. Alright, before we start hunting, let's talk about what makes the 2001 P 1788 quarter so special. The 1788 date doesn't actually refer to the coin's production year, which was 2001. Instead, it's a nod to the year that New York ratified the U.S. Constitution. This quarter was part of the State Quarters program, where each coin celebrated a different state and its unique history. The P on the coin stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where it was struck. But here's the kicker: while millions of quarters were produced in 2001, a few of them have unique features or rare errors that could skyrocket their value. Coins with unique qualities or flaws often become the golden tickets for collectors, and that's what we're exploring today. To understand why some quarters can be worth up to $1.5 million, you need to know what collectors look for. There are three main factors that make coins valuable: rarity, condition, and error types. And this specific 2001 P quarter is no exception. The rarer the coin, the higher the demand. If there's a unique variation of the 2001 P 1788 quarter that few people have, collectors will pay top dollar. Coins in mint or near mint condition fetch higher prices. A coin that has been well preserved, like kept away from dirt, scratches, and wear, could be worth way more than one that's been jostling around in pockets for years. This is where things get interesting. Sometimes, the mint makes mistakes, resulting in misprints, off-center strikes, or even double die errors. These error coins are often much more valuable than perfectly minted ones. If you have a 2001 P 1788 quarter, especially with an error, you may have something truly special. So, let's talk about the specific errors that could make your 2001 P 1788 quarter a potential jackpot. Here are some known errors collectors go wild for. This is when the coin's design appears doubled in certain areas, like on the text or images. You might see some ghosting or double outlines on letters or numbers. Off-center strike. This error happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned during minting. If you have a coin with an off-center image, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands. Clipped planchet. This means part of the coin is missing due to a minting error. These coins are rare and can fetch high prices among collectors. Overstrikes and die cracks. Overstrikes are another highly valuable error, where parts of the design were stamped over again. Die cracks, which are lines or raised marks from worn-out dies, can add uniqueness too. If you find one of these errors on a 2001 P 1788 quarter, don't ignore it. It could make that quarter worth a small fortune. Now, here's the important part: How can you tell if your 2001 P1788 quarter is one of these rare gems? Here are some steps. Look for the P mint mark, which stands for Philadelphia. Errors like double dies and die cracks can be hard to see with the naked eye. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubled letters, cracks, or other oddities. Look for misalignment or missing parts. An off-center strike is usually visible without any tools, but a magnifying glass might help you spot clipped planchets or overstrikes. Consider getting it graded. For serious collectors or anyone curious about a coin's potential value, sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can help establish authenticity and maximize resale value. Alright, now to the big question: what's the value of these quarters on the market today? Typical 2001 P quarters in regular circulation are worth face value, 25 cents. However, if you have a mint condition coin or one with a rare error, values can shoot up. Currently, rare error quarters in top condition can go for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some exceptionally rare finds can reach up to $1.5 million for highly desired, unique errors combined with mint condition. Although these are exceptionally rare, stories of finds like this keep collectors on their toes. These prices fluctuate, so if you think you have a valuable coin, do your research and maybe even consider talking to an expert before selling it. Narrator: if you think you've struck gold with a valuable quarter, where should you sell it? Here are some options. Online marketplaces. eBay and heritage auctions often have high-traffic coin sections where you can reach collectors globally. Auction houses. For higher value coins, auctions with professional auctioneers can sometimes fetch better prices. Coin dealers and shows. Experienced dealers can help you evaluate your coin's worth, and coin shows offer direct access to collectors and buyers. We're diving deep into one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1965 Washington quarter. Now, you might be wondering why a 25-cent coin from the 60s is such a big deal. Well, some versions of this coin have become incredibly valuable, with one even selling for an astounding $1.6 million. That's right. If you have one of these rare treasures in your collection, you could be sitting on a fortune. So grab your magnifying glasses and let's explore everything you need to know about the 1965 Washington quarter. First, let's start with a little background. 1965 was a significant year for American coinage. Due to a severe silver shortage in the early 1960s, the U.S. Mint made a drastic change. They decided to switch from silver to a copper-nickel-clad composition for their quarters. The 1965 Washington quarter was the first in this new composition, which replaced the 90% silver quarters that had been minted until 1964. This switch was controversial at the time, as people were concerned about the new coin's durability and even their appearance. Despite these initial worries, the 1965 quarters became a regular part of American currency, with millions entering circulation. But as it turns out, there were a few exceptions to the new composition, and that's where things get exciting. So, why are certain 1965 quarters worth so much? The answer lies in a minting error that slipped through the cracks. While the U.S. Mint had officially switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition, a small number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets, the same silver used in quarters before 1965. This error happened when silver blanks from 1964 were mistakenly left in the machinery during the switch. Since the mint was in a rush to produce enough quarters to meet demand, these silver quarters were accidentally minted with the 1965 date. And this, folks, is the key detail that makes these coins so valuable. Only a handful of these silver planchet errors have been discovered, making them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Now, let's talk about how to spot one of these rare silver planchet 1965 quarters. If you think you might have one, the first step is to weigh it. A regular 1965 copper-nickel-clad quarter weighs around 5.67 grams, whereas the silver quarters from 1964 and earlier weigh about 6.25 grams. This weight difference may not seem like much, but it's the quickest way to tell if you might have something special. If you don't have a scale, there's another way: look closely at the edge. The copper-nickel quarters from 1965 onward have a visible copper line running along the edge. But if you've got a silver planchet quarter, that edge will be silver all the way through. So, let's get to the juicy part, the value. How much could one of these coins be worth? Well, one of these 1965 silver-era quarters sold at auction for over $7,000 in mint state condition. But here's where it gets interesting. Recently, a specific 1965 quarter in immaculate condition and verified as an error coin went up for auction and sold for an astounding $1.6 million. This sale shocked the numismatic community and put the 1965 Washington quarter in the spotlight. This particular coin had perfect detailing, with the silver planchet error and an incredibly high grade. For collectors, this sale has only increased the demand for 1965 silver quarters. The silver planchet isn't the only reason a 1965 quarter might be valuable. Some collectors also seek out coins with minting errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, and other unique quirks. These errors make the coin unique and can add hundreds or even thousands of dollars to its value depending on the rarity and demand. So, while the silver planchet errors are definitely the top prize, don't overlook other 1965 quarters with interesting errors. They could also be worth a lot, right? Let's say you think you found a rare 1965 quarter, what should you do next? First, handle the coin carefully and avoid touching it directly, as oils from your skin can damage it. Place it in a protective case or sleeve to keep it safe. If you're serious about selling, consider getting the coin professionally graded. Grading can add credibility to your coin's value and make it more attractive to buyers. Two popular grading services in the US are PCGS and NGC. After grading, you can look for reputable auction houses or online marketplaces specializing in rare coins to sell your piece. So, to recap, the 1965 Washington quarter may look like an ordinary piece of change, but certain versions, particularly those struck on silver planchets, are worth big money. With one selling for a record-breaking $1.6 million, these coins are a reminder that treasure could be hiding right in your pocket. We're diving into a mystery that's taken the coin collecting world by storm, the elusive 2002 D1817 $quarter coin with a unique mint mark that has collectors paying big money. And by big money, I mean up to $1.4 million. Now, you might be thinking, what makes this quarter so special? After all, it's just a 2002 quarter, right? Well, this particular quarter stands out because of a unique error or variety that occurred during minting, creating a version that's become one of the most valuable modern US coins. Let's take a closer look at why this is happening and what makes this specific quarter dollar so valuable. To understand the value of this 2002 quarter, we first have to talk about the D1817 mint mark. Now, it's crucial to know that US quarters from 2002 generally feature mint marks from either Denver, D, Philadelphia, P, or sometimes San Francisco, S, for proof coins. But what we have here is an unexpected variation, the D1817. This particular marking doesn't actually fit into typical US mint classifications, which is why collectors are so fascinated by it. So how did this happen? Theories suggest it might have been an accidental stamp that managed to slip through mint quality controls or a rogue marking. Either way, this unusual mint mark has captivated collectors and driven up the value of this specific coin dramatically. Alright, let's get into why this specific 2002 D1817 $quarter can reach such astronomical values. Firstly, the coin's rarity is a major factor. It's estimated that very few of these coins made it into circulation, and because of that, it's a hot-ticket item for collectors and investors alike. You may have a 2002 quarter at home, but finding one with this specific mint mark is what turns it into a jackpot. Adding to the appeal is the high auction price that's been reported recently. That's right, one of these coins sold for around $1.4 million. This makes it one of the most expensive quarters ever sold. Why? Well, collectors go crazy for rare errors or varieties, especially in coins from recent years. Now, if you're going through your change drawer or coin collection, here's what you need to know to identify a genuine 2002 D1817 quarter. Start by looking closely at the mint mark. Instead of a simple D or P, you're looking for D1817, a combination of letters and numbers not usually seen on quarters. It should be very clearly stamped, not faded or altered. Also, don't forget to check the coin's overall condition. Higher quality, uncirculated coins often fetch better prices. If you find a coin with the right mint mark but it's scratched or worn down, it might still be valuable, but it won't hit the high prices of a pristine one. Let's say you think you've struck gold, or, in this case, a rare quarter. First, avoid handling the coin excessively. The best course of action is to get it professionally graded. You can look into well-known coin grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. They'll authenticate and grade your coin, giving it an official status, which can add serious value if you decide to sell. And once graded, if it turns out to be a genuine D1817, you have options. You can auction it off through online platforms like eBay or specialized coin auction sites, or contact high-end auction houses that deal in rare coins. Just make sure you're aware of any fees involved in the selling process. Now, it's always exciting when a coin like the 2002 D1817 gets media attention and goes for a high price. But does this mean that all D1817 quarters are guaranteed to fetch millions? Not necessarily. The coin market can be unpredictable, and while rarity usually maintains value, high prices can fluctuate based on demand. However, for now, these D1817 quarters are definitely hot on the market. If you're a collector or just interested in rare coins, the lesson here is that unique mint marks and unusual varieties have a way of surprising us with unexpected value. Who knows what you might have hidden in your change? So there you have it. The 2002 D1817 quarter dollar, a coin that could be worth a life-changing amount of money. Check your pockets, drawers, and anywhere you keep spare change. You just might be sitting on a $1.4 million jackpot without even realizing it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button. We're diving deep into the world of the 2015 P mint mark quarter dollar coins. Believe it or not, these quarters might be worth a lot more than just 25 cents, with one rumor to have a current market value of up to $1.3 million. So, if you've got any 2015 quarters lying around, don't go spending them just yet. In this video, we'll explore the history of these coins, what makes them so special, and the features that could make your quarter one of these ultra-valuable coins. So, grab your quarters, and let's get started. Background and history of the 2015 quarter dollar. So first off, let's talk a little bit about the 2015 quarter series and the P mint mark. 2015 was a unique year for quarters as part of the America the Beautiful series, where the U.S. Mint created quarters commemorating national parks and landmarks. That year, we saw beautiful designs like the Homestead National Monument Quarter, the Kisatchie National Forest, and Saratoga National Historical Park. Now, what's particularly important here is the P mint mark. Coins with this mark were minted in Philadelphia, and it's critical to note that Philadelphia didn't use a P mark on quarters until recently. This 2015 series has a few coins with the P mint mark that came out with unique features, which turned them from regular quarters into coveted collectibles. Some collectors even suspect mint errors and variations that make these coins potentially worth millions. Why are these quarters so valuable? So, you're probably wondering, what exactly makes a 2015 P mint mark quarter so valuable? There are a few reasons collectors and numismatists, those are fancy words for coin experts, think these coins are worth so much. Rarity and low mintage numbers. The value of a coin often skyrockets when only a few were minted, but these 2015 quarters are unique due to small runs of variations, possible mint errors. Some quarters from 2015 may have been struck with mistakes or variations, like double dies, missing details, or misaligned strikes. These types of mint errors can be incredibly valuable to collectors. The rarest and most extreme mint error coins in high condition can fetch huge amounts at auctions, sometimes even reaching 6 or 7 figures. High-grade quality coins are often graded on a scale from 1 to 70. Coins that are closer to 70, especially those graded 68 or above, are super rare and desirable. In the case of the 2015 P quarter, pristine, high-grade coins have been highly sought after in auctions. Unique design and historical value. People love to collect the America the Beautiful series quarters, especially for their beautiful designs representing national parks and historical sites. So, a coin with both a limited mint and a beautiful design is already special. This unique blend of rarity, potential errors, and design makes these coins a hot item in the market and could explain why we're seeing prices in the millions. So, if you have some 2015 quarters with the P mint mark lying around, here's what you should look for. Check for mint errors. Examine your coin closely. If you notice any doubling on the text or image, strange marks, or missing details, you could have a mint error coin. These are worth big money. Look at the grade and condition. Condition is everything in coin collecting. Even if you don't notice any mint errors, a coin in pristine condition with no scratches, nicks, or wear could still be extremely valuable. Coins in high-grade mint state are likely to sell for thousands of dollars. If you have a 2015 quarter featuring the Homestead National Monument, Saratoga, or any other America the Beautiful site, it's a good idea to have it evaluated. Get a professional grading. If you think your coin might be valuable, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC. These services can officially grade your coin, giving you a certified score that can make it more valuable in auctions or sales. So, let's talk numbers. The value of these 2015 P mint mark quarters has gone through the roof in recent years. Right now, these coins are known to be worth a lot more than just face value. Auction sales. A few high-grade 2015 P quarters with mint errors have sold for over $20,000. And that's just the beginning. The most valuable 2015 quarter, with a mint error and a perfect grade, could fetch up to $1.3 million on the current market. Current market trends. As demand for rare coins continues to grow, especially among new collectors and investors, the market value of these quarters will likely increase. Imagine finding a quarter in your pocket worth as much as a luxury car, or even a house, but keep in mind, to reach the $1 million mark, the coin must have a rare mint error and be in pristine, top-grade condition. This combination is what makes it so highly valued by collectors and investors. If you believe you have a valuable 2015 quarter, here's what you should do: get it professionally graded. Like we mentioned earlier, professional grading is essential. A grade can help establish authenticity and determine the condition, which are critical for high-value sales. Keep it in protective packaging. Never handle a potentially valuable coin with your bare hands. Oils and dirt can decrease its grade. Use gloves or handle it by the edges and store it in a protective case. Explore auction houses. For coins worth this much, you might want to go through a reputable auction house. They can handle the logistics and often get you the best price due to their reach to serious collectors and investors. Avoid quick sales. While it may be tempting to sell quickly, patience can pay off in the coin world. Over time, as these coins become even rarer, their value might increase. So, there you have it. The 2015 P mint mark $quarter coin is truly a hidden gem, with some versions fetching up to $1.3 million. If you're a collector or just someone curious about what could be hiding in your pocket change, it's worth taking a closer look at those quarters. Who knows? You might be holding on to a mini fortune. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most exciting and valuable coins out there, the 2020 W mint mark quarter. That's right, a quarter from just a few years ago could be worth thousands or even millions. How did this happen? What's driving these insane values? And how can you tell if you've got one hiding in your pocket change? Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know about the 2020 W $quarter coins, their incredible value, why they're so sought after, and how you might just find one for yourself. Make sure to watch till the end, you won't want to miss these details. Alright, so let's rewind a bit. Why exactly are the 2020 W quarters so special? In 2019 and 2020, the US Mint did something totally unique. They decided to mint quarters at the West Point Mint, that's what the W stands for, but with one twist, they were limited editions. Only 2 million of each design were made and distributed, making them extremely rare compared to your standard quarters. The West Point Mint, as some of you might know, usually handles higher value coins like gold and platinum coins, and they hadn't struck circulating quarters before this. It was a one-time deal to generate excitement among collectors, and it sure did work. Now, let's talk about what makes these quarters stand out. The 2020 W quarters were issued in 5 different designs: National Park of American Samoa, Weir Farm, Salt River Bay, Marsh Billings Rockefeller, and Tallgrass Prairie. Each design represents a national park or historic site, making the quarters visually distinct and highly collectible. But the real key to their value lies in that tiny W mint mark. Because of the extremely limited quantity, collectors are willing to pay a premium for one of these coins in top condition. And, since these quarters were released directly into circulation rather than through official sets, they're hard to find in pristine condition. That increases the value even more. Okay, let's talk numbers. Right now, the market for 2020 W quarters is hot. A pristine, uncirculated 2020 W quarter with a high-grade rating from a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC can easily fetch $500 to $1,000 on the collector's market. But it gets even crazier. A few rare examples with a perfect grade, which is incredibly hard to achieve on a coin that's circulated, have gone for record-breaking prices. Just recently, a top-grade 2020 W quarter sold for a whopping $1.2 million. Now, here's what you need to know if you're trying to find one of these gems yourself. Look closely at the front, or obverse, of the coin, right next to Washington's ponytail. You'll see a tiny W if it's a West Point minted quarter. This mint mark is the only indication that the coin could be worth a small fortune. And, if you do find one, don't just rush to sell it. Consider having it graded by a professional grading service. Coins that get a higher grade, like MS-65 or MS-66, are worth much more than those in circulated or damaged condition. Grading adds credibility, and serious collectors love it. So, why is this quarter worth so much? The answer comes down to the 3 big factors in coin collecting: scarcity, condition, and demand. Only 2 million of each design exist, and many are already in private collections, so the available pool is shrinking. Plus, collectors know these 2020 W quarters represent a unique piece of US mint history. That exclusivity is priceless. Additionally, high-quality, rare quarters are historically excellent investments. Coins with mint marks from rare years or unusual mints have consistently gained value, sometimes exponentially, making this quarter a wise pick for both collectors and investors. So, if you're wondering where you might actually find one of these, you're in luck. Since these quarters were put directly into circulation, you could theoretically find one in your change or at a bank. The best chances are to look at high-turnover places like grocery stores or gas stations, where quarters move quickly and are less likely to be picked out by other collectors. Or, if you're up for a treasure hunt, ask your bank for rolls of quarters. You'd be surprised how often people have found valuable coins this way. Just remember, it's a numbers game. So, there you have it, the incredible story of the 2020 W Mint Mark quarters. From their unique origin at the West Point Mint to their skyrocketing value on the market, these coins are a real treasure. If you're lucky enough to find one, you could be looking at a massive return on just 25 cents. Let us know in the comments if you've come across any rare coins or if you'll be hunting for these 2020 W quarters yourself. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and tap that bell icon for more content on coin collecting, rare finds, and hidden treasures. Thanks for watching, and good luck on your coin hunt.